Well, I am Matt Basolo, and I'm a graduate of St. Bonaventure High School class of 1970. Many of you may know my wife, Terry, a longtime teacher here. She has been my connection with the school, so I've been able to stay in touch through her. And tonight is my honor to introduce my classmate and good friend, Vince O'Neill, as an inductee into the Athletic Hall of Fame. I want to begin by thanking all the members of the Hall of Fame committee for selecting Vince. I assure you, you've made an outstanding choice. In fact, as I look at this year's group of inductees, I think the committee made 7 outstanding choices. I heartily congratulate all of tonight's inductees. In particular, I want to salute Larry Montag. Larry's another classmate, and he was one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen. I don't recall any football or baseball game in our day in which Larry wasn't the fastest player on the field. Now I'd like to share a few personal recollections I have of my friend, His Honor Vincent J. O'Neill Jr. It seems only natural that Vince and I would become fast friends when we met as freshmen in the fall of 1966. 1966 was the first year St. Bonaventure was a full 4-year high school. The school opened in the fall of 1963 with a freshman class, and it added a new class each subsequent year. Once there were 4 grade levels, St. Bonaventure entered the world of competitive sports. St. Bonaventure played a freelance schedule in that first year, and the following year it joined a very competitive Tri-Valley League, which at the time included Marmani League opponents, current Marmani League opponents, Moore Park, Agora, and Newberry Park, which we sometimes jokingly referred to as Pewberry Narc. Vince and I were right in the thick of the early athletic scene at SBHS. He played basketball and baseball, while I was on the football and track teams. I mentioned earlier that Vince and I seemed destined to become friends. You see, Vince liked all sorts of games, and I liked all sorts of games. Vince loved sports, and I loved sports. Vince rooted for the Dodgers and the Lakers. I rooted for the Dodgers and the Lakers. Vince was an excellent student, and I loved sports. This mutual love of sports and games has led Vince and I to share over 4 decades of enjoyable athletic pursuits and close personal camaraderie. This all began our freshman year when several of us would gather at Vince's house in Ventura Keys. You see, the O'Neills had a fair-sized basketball court in their backyard, and it hosted some of the most competitive pickup games you can imagine. It wasn't just Vince and his friends who did the battle on the court. Vince's dad, Vince Sr., and Vince's 3 younger brothers also joined in on occasion. The O'Neills are a very close-knit family, and Vince probably would have included his younger sister, Mary, in those games as well, but since she was only 5 or 6 at the time, I don't think their mom Peggy would have been too keen on that idea. Vince's parents, Vince Sr. and Peggy, are here this evening. Other than Vince himself, I believe Mr. and Mrs. O'Neill are probably most responsible for Vince becoming the person we are inducting this evening. Please join me in recognizing Vince and Peggy O'Neill. And to add a few more details about Vincent's parents, I will tell you that they grew up in Elizabeth, New Jersey, where they both attended Sacred Heart Parish School and Sacred Heart High School. At Sacred Heart High, Vince Sr. was a playmaking guard who led his basketball team to a state championship in the Catholic school division. Vince Sr. went on to Seton Hall University, and upon graduation, he joined the Federal Bureau of Investigation. As an FBI agent, Vince Sr. was assigned to the Los Angeles area, and that is how Vince Jr. and his siblings came to be native Southern Californians. When I first played basketball with Vince Jr., or VJ, as his mom called him, I was impressed by his shooting ability, but what I really marveled at was his quickness and his ball handling skills. And this wasn't just because he was left-handed, which made it a little more difficult to guard. It was during those backyard games that I came to understand where Vince had learned his basketball sleight of hand. You see, Vince Sr. was a slick ball handler, and very quick. He would go around us younger guys as if we were not even there. And if he did get caught off, he would dish the most beautiful no-look pass to a teammate. I will admit that I had a few of those passes bounce off the side of my head. I quickly learned that when Mr. O'Neill had the ball, you better be looking for a pass. Of course, after those backyard games, Mrs. O'Neill would usually show up with a pitcher of punch or lemonade to help us cool down, and then we'd sit around and share the pure joy of pickup basketball as it should always be played. I think Vince understands what I'm saying there. Well, I think that's enough about how Vince and I first became friends, but I hope it helps you understand why I was so pleased when Vince asked me to introduce him this evening. I think it goes without saying that you have to be a gifted athlete to be selected for the Hall of Fame. and Vince certainly qualifies on that score. His biography as outlined on the Hall of Fame website details Vince's many accomplishments as a student athlete at both St. Bonaventure and then at Loyola Marymount University, as well as his professional success. Let me briefly review some of those details. Vince played 4 years of basketball and baseball at SBHS, including 3 years as a member of the varsity team for each sport. Over his 4 years of high school, Vince maintained a 4.0 grade point average, participated in student government, was a national merit semifinalist, and was selected as the school's Student of the Year in 1970. As an athlete, Vince was selected co-captain and most valuable player of the varsity basketball team during his senior year. His offensive production that season included 6 games where he scored 20 points or more, highlighted by a game in which he established a new school record for scoring 28 points. Vince was named to the all-tournament team at the Carpinteria tournament, and he was second-team All-Tri-Valley League selection. According to Vince, the highlight of his career as a Seraph baseball player was being a member of the 1970 CIF AA championship team. Under the inspirational guidance of Coach Bill Little, that team excelled in all aspects of the game, and it secured the Tri-Valley League championship prior to advancing to the CIF title. For the 1970 baseball season, Vince had a .368 batting average, and he played air-free ball in right field. He was honored by being selected to the All-Tri-Valley League first team, and just as important, he was named team captain. Following high school, Vince went on to Loyola Marymount University, where he played baseball for 4 years. Along with his high school teammate Jerry Stone, Vince was a member of the LMU team, which won a conference championship in 1973. As a senior, Vince became a starter and the leadoff batter. He finished the season with a .299 batting average, and he received the Most Improved Player award. Vince graduated with honors from LMU in 1974 and went on to earn his law degree from UCLA School of Law. Sorry, John. In 1977, he passed the California bar examination, and then he worked for 2 years in the criminal division of the California Attorney General's office. Vince has continued to have a highly successful career in the legal profession. In 1979, he joined the Ventura County District Attorney's office, and over the next 13 years, he rose to the position of Assistant District Attorney. In 1992, Vince was appointed to the Ventura County bench by Governor Pete Wilson. Vince is currently the presiding judge of the Ventura County Courts, and this year he was selected as Judge of the Year by the Trial Lawyers Association. My friend Vince is a uniquely accomplished person, and I'm so pleased to see him enter the Seraph Hall of Fame this evening. Vince, I know your lovely wife, Christy, your 3 kids, and your entire family are very proud of you. I would add that your classmates and friends share in that pride. Please come forward for your formal induction.